Okay guys, so from time to time, because I've got a very long experience with engineering and music tech, and I've got very long experience with computer music tech, people will ask me to recommend all the equipment, a complete package, everything they need to set up a home recording system, a complete system on a super low budget. Now, I've already done one of these systems, and this is going to be the second system. And like the first system that I did the video for, this is going to be a complete home recording setup based around a Mac computer. And this system is going to include the Mac computer itself, the DAW music software, and all of the accessories. And the total cost for this system is going to be between 450 and 500 British pounds. Yeah, as low as that. But this system is going to have enough power and enough sound quality for you to turn out up to release quality songs in certain genres. Alrighty. So, it's March the 5th, 2020. Here's my second recommendation for a super cheap, complete home recording setup based around a Mac. Right, now with this system, we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to build this around a second-hand Mac Pro 3,1, exactly as you see it written on the screen there. If you search for a Mac Pro 3,1, you'll find the Mac that you want. And what we're looking for here is a 2008 2.8 gig 8-core Mac Pro, right, which has two quad-core Xeon processors. And the one that we want should have the stock graphics card in it that came with the unit. That's the ATI Radeon HD 2600 XT. Right? We need that graphics card to do what we're going to do with this Mac. Now these Mac Pros, you can pick them up typically second-hand on eBay in the UK for about 250 to 300 British pounds. Check it out, look. There's one there, 249. There's another 240. There's another one a bit more dear, 295. There's another one, 250. Right, so there's plenty of them out there. They're very easy to get. And these machines, even today, have got a lot of power. They do. I mean, these old Mac Pros, this specific model, they're going to have the same amount of power as a £1,000 brand new Mac desktop, right? They do. They've got plenty of grunt. So hardware and power-wise, they're not obsolete. It's just that Apple made them obsolete by making it so that you couldn't install any operating system on them after El Capitan. So people wanted to get the latest OS and the latest software, they had to buy a new Mac. But they've got plenty of power, right? Now, the thing about them is, as I said, is that if you try to do an install of the operating system direct from Apple servers, it won't let you install anything beyond El Capitan. However, there's this guy called DOSDude1, and he's written this incredible installing and patching software app. It's completely free. And like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world have used it successfully, including me. And this little software app will allow you to install the very latest operating system, that's OS Catalina, on one of these Mac Pros. And it works, trust me, 100%. I've done it. All right? And then once you've got that OS installed and all set up, from that point, Apple's servers will see that Mac as a 100% legitimate Mac computer running the latest OS. So everything works. Your Apple ID and account all works. Your iCloud works. You can log into the App Store. You can buy and download apps, get all the updates, get all the content. Everything works. So this will give us like a 100% legit desktop Mac with plenty of power, running the latest OS, but for 250 to 300 British pounds. It's insane, right? Oh, well, we'll talk more about the computer in a bit. And the DAW we're going to run with this, no surprises, is going to be GarageBand for desktop. It's completely free, right? You'll be downloading a 100% legal, legitimate copy from Apple servers, as well as all the updates and all the content. And GarageBand for desktop is a really powerful DAW. It's got everything you need. It's got the same sound instrument quality as Logic Pro X. It's all the same stuff with just sort of less fancy features. You can turn out up to release quality tunes with GarageBand for desktop, no problems. You get a massive selection of instruments, effects, you get full-on drummer tracks and percussionist tracks, you get the amp and bass modelling rigs for guitars, everything. All right? So that's going to be our DAW to go with the Mac. Right, we'll talk about the Mac and the DAW again in a bit. Let's now look at the other equipment we need, and for that, like with the other system I showed you, we're going to use Tomman. Again, not just because they sponsor us, but because they're a really good indicator for a low street price. All right, now, all the equipment in this list is the same as for the other Mac system I showed you, except for the audio interface. So let's start with that. And by the way, everything in this list comes with a full 3-year warranty if you buy it from Tomman. So let's start with the audio interface. We're going to go with this. The PreSonus Audio Box USB 96. Okay, now, I do recommend quite a bit of PreSonus equipment at the moment. I know people who own PreSonus audio interfaces and speakers, and you just seem to get really good bang for buck at the moment with PreSonus, right? But they don't sponsor me. I've never even talked to them, so this isn't like I'm being paid to say this. They just seem to give you really good bang for the buck, and they're really well-made products. And this is the interface that I'm recommending. Let's look at the front. We've got 2 mic and instrument level inputs. You can either plug XLR mic connectors into these, or you can plug guitars and basses, 1/4-inch jack guitar leads straight into the center hole, and that will allow us to plug our electric guitars and basses directly into the amp modeling rig tracks in GarageBand to get down electric guitar and bass. You've got 48-volt switchable phantom power there. These are the 2 input level controls for the 2 inputs. This control pot here labeled mixer, this is the direct monitoring control, and what you should do is turn this all the way to playback and just leave it in that position, right? And then finally we've got a dedicated volume control for headphones and speakers, and that's really important because if you're doing a lot of mic recording like vocal takes, you don't want the speakers getting on the mic, so every time you go to do a take you just turn the speakers down with the volume control here. You can set the headphone level that you want while you record. When you finish recording, you just turn the speakers back up and listen immediately to what you did. So that's what we need, all right? All right, let's look around the back, and ooh, look, we've got traditional MIDI in out. Bonus, right? Because that means you can attach any bits of MIDI gear you want to the system, including cheap second-hand master keyboards with the old-fashioned MIDI sockets on, right? There's your USB connection for power and data flow in either direction. There's your left-right out for the speakers, and there's your headphone out, right? So there's our audio interface. All right, now we're going to need a mic and all the accessories. So this is the mic that I always recommend for budget systems. This is a Tomman own brand mic. At this price point, when you're doing budget systems, any mic you choose will be made in China. I believe this is Tomman's biggest seller. They sell thousands of these every year. The SC450. And it's a Chinese-made 1-inch gold-plated large diaphragm condenser mic. Comes with a lovely carrying case with a shock mount. This is a great mic. A friend of mine owns one. I've experienced it quite a bit. This will get you a great vocal sound, acoustic guitars, whatever you record on it, right? So there's your mic. All right, then we need all the accessories to go with the mic. So a good quality height adjustable boom stand, a good quality mic lead. This is a 3-meter long lead. You can get them cheaper than this, but I've gone for this one because you get high quality nitric connectors on each end. Right, then we've got a pop shield, and finally I've included this mic screen in the budget because it's only £11. Now you don't need one of these, but I put it in because it's cheap. This is the cheapest mic screen you can get, and it's basically just a piece of shaped foam with a slot cut in it and a hole in the middle. And this hole fits over the boom of a mic stand. So all you do is you slide it over the boom, position it up behind the mic, and it just helps to reduce off-axis reflections bouncing back off the wall behind the mic, getting onto the mic. It'll just give us a slightly better recording sound, okay? So for 11 quid, I've included it in the budget. All right, so there's your audio interface, your mic and all your mic accessories, and that just leaves the speakers. And on a budget system, I always recommend these. Right now, when you're putting together a budget system, you can get cheaper 3.5 or 4-inch smaller monitors, but unless they're really well designed and really well made and they cost a lot of money, you're not going to get the bottom end out of those. So on a budget, it's always best to go for a minimum 5-inch monitor. That way, on a cheap price, you'll get a decent bottom end. You'll be able to hear what's going on in the bass. So as I said, these are the ones I always recommend on a budget. The Alesis Elevate 5 Mark IIs. Again, a friend owns a pair of these. I've experienced them a lot. And they're great little cheap budget monitors. They're fine, right? Got a 5-inch bass driver. They don't hype the sound in any frequency. They're pretty flat. They're not harsh and nasty. They go low enough in the bass you can hear what's going on with the bass end. And they're loud enough. Yeah, these are fine. You can use these for recording, mixing, everything. They're just great little cheap monitors. And part of the way that Alesis keeps down the costs is, instead of having a mono power amp in each speaker, they use a stereo power amp in one speaker, and then the left speaker here connects to that power amp using an included cable. Okay, so these are active monitors, they're fully shielded. Great little speakers, they're fine, they'll do the job fine, right? And as a bonus, we get a headphone socket and a volume control on one of the speakers. Now, when you plug headphones into this socket, it cuts the sound out from the speakers. Now, that's a bonus because it means that we've got 2 headphone sockets with this system. You've got 1 headphone socket on the audio interface and 1 here, each with their own volume control. So that means if you're working with another musician, like you're doing the engineering and they're doing the performing, you can both have a pair of headphones, each with their own dedicated volume control. And so it's easy. You must have that to work. So that's a little bonus there, right? Alrighty, so that's the speakers. And then the only other thing in the shopping list is 2 of these jack-to-jack leads to connect the left-right out of the audio interface to the speakers. And there's your complete system. The pound price changes day to day with the exchange rate, but £210 thereabouts. So you put that with the Mac Pro, 250 to 300 quid. You got a complete system for 450 to 500 pounds, and the DAW GarageBand is completely free. Right? It's super bang for buck, man. It really is, right? Now, if you want to buy all this stuff, Tom Mandu mail order all over the EU and beyond, and everything in this list, as I said, has a 3-year warranty. So all the items in the shopping cart, there's a link in the description below to each item. You just click each link, put it into the shopping cart, and then buy the whole lot and have it delivered. Get yourself one of the Mac Pros. Get OS Catalina installed on it. Get GarageBand on it. And bing bang bong, you've got a complete recording system. Right? Super, super cheap. Right, so let's finish up by just talking a bit about the Mac Pro itself and GarageBand. Okay, now these Mac Pros, as I said, they're plentiful, but they are second-hand. We're going to be using a second-hand machine here, and that, of course, means, yeah, there is a risk. It's not big, but there is a slight risk that the machine might die. Now, Mac machines like this, they're pretty reliable. But when these old Mac Pros, if they do die on you, it's always, well, pretty much always, the power supply or the motherboard that's the problem, right? Now, nowadays, in most big towns and cities, you'll find at least one company doing Mac repairs and reselling. So if you get one of these and it dies on you, you've got the option to take it to one of these places and for them to give you a price to fix it. But if the cost to fix is going to be too much, well, the option is you just buy another one from eBay, right? And the advantage of that is if you buy another one to replace one that breaks, when you get the replacement machine home, you don't have to go through the whole faff again of installing the operating system, downloading and installing the DAW, installing all the updates for the DAW, installing all the content for the DAW and all that. You just bring the replacement machine home, take the hard drives out of the machine that's died, put them into the replacement machine, boot it up and carry on working. Because the replacement machine is exactly the same hardware configuration. So you just put your drives in from the other machine and everything will just work. So, you know, there it is. That's the bottom line. With the second-hand machine, these things have got a lot of power, though. Trust me, they really have. For £250, £300, the amount of power we're going to get out of these is ridiculous. Think what that will get you if you buy a new computer. £250 to £300. It's going to get you the lowest possible quality Windows laptop running some really low-powered mobile processor. So there is a slight risk that a second-hand Mac Pro can die, but on balance, it's probably a risk worth taking to get this much power, this much bang for buck for this cheaper price. Okay. Other things. By default, these machines didn't come with the Wi-Fi board fitted. It was an option that you could order when you bought the machine. So check whether or not the machine has the Wi-Fi board. Because if it doesn't, you're going to have to connect the machine to the internet, and without the Wi-Fi board, you'll have to do that by connecting to your router with a network cable. And that may not be an inconvenience depending where your router is located, but just bear that in mind. You can get the Wi-Fi boards for these things second-hand, so you've got the option to fit one if you want. It's not massively complicated, but just bear that in mind, right? Other things to do with these machines, sometimes they'll come with the keyboard and the mouse, sometimes they'll even come with the screen. But if they don't worry, because you can use any USB keyboard, any USB mouse, and any screen with these machines. And you can even run 2 screens with the stock graphics card. Apart from the amount of bang for buck you get with these machines, the other thing, of course, is they're supremely expandable. You've got 4 internal SATA drive bays, so you can, whack in tons of SATA storage super cheap. SATA hard drives are super cheap, internal ones, right? And also they've got lots of connectivity. They've got plenty of USB ports, and they've got FireWire as well, although that's less relevant nowadays, right? So yeah, there it is. That's the computer. Now, just finally, we're going to have to do this Catalina install using this patcher software. As I said, in the description below is a link to my video where I show you the process. But here's my recommendation. If you're a complete and total computer novice, probably it's best to get somebody who's a bit more experienced to come round and help you install the OS. It's not that complicated, but if you just really don't know anything about computers, really, that would be my recommendation. Get a friend to help you install the OS. Somebody who's, got a bit more computer experience, right? Right, so there's the computer. Just talk slightly about GarageBand. As I said, it's got plenty of power, tons of instruments, app modeling rigs built in, effects, thousands of loops. This DAW will produce up to release quality tunes in different genres, right? And for traditional singer-songwriter type songs, this DAW will produce very, very high quality demo recordings, okay? And the machine's got enough grunt to give you plenty of tracks, plenty of effects, plenty of instruments. So I'm not going to go into some huge thing about GarageBand. There's plenty of information out there about it. But if you look, or rather search our channel for GarageBand, you will find lots of videos I've done on GarageBand, lots of tutorials, including several full-length tutorials where I show you how to put a song together from start to finish in GarageBand, the whole process, right? And then finally, just to say again, if you are a beginner to recording, I would recommend you go with GarageBand because it's simple. It's got plenty of power, but it's not overly laden with complicated features that get in the way. But if you're more experienced, you do have the option from the get-go to go with Logic. And as I said, this machine, once you've got the Catalina installed on it, Apple servers will see this as a 100% legitimate Mac. So you can go to the App Store, log in with your Apple account, pay for Logic, download it, download the updates, download all the content, 100%, right? But bear in mind, if you put Logic on it, it's going to cost $199 more. So the budget then becomes $650 to $700 for the whole thing, right? But if you start with GarageBand, just to say, if in a year or so you say to yourself, well, I've got into this more, I think I'd like to go further with this and move up to Logic. Well, that's not a problem, because every single song that you created in GarageBand can be opened in Logic and it runs, right? So all your old GarageBand songs, if you upgrade to Logic, you can open them, continue working on them, remix them, do whatever you want, right? So you've got a nice clear upgrade path should you want to do that. And there you go, that is it. There is a second super budget Mac-based system with plenty of power and plenty of quality. Seriously, don't underestimate these old 8 cores, man. I mean, I've got mine still set up with Catalina. That's the machine that I did install in the video that's linked in the description below, where I show you how to do it. And it's 100%. Right, so download Logic, my own copy of Logic. Because once you pay for Logic, the App Store knows you've paid for it, and you can download it on as many Apple machines as you own. So I just went to the App Store, downloaded Logic, downloaded the updates, downloaded all the content. Everything works 100%. The audio interface works with it fine. At the lowest sample buffer size, 32 samples. It records fine, plays back fine, no clicks, no pops, no problems at all, right? And I did the Logic stress test on the Mac when it was finally set up with Catalina, and I got 73 tracks before it bummed out. And that's a lot. If you understand how the Logic stress tests work, that doesn't mean that you're going to be restricted to 73 tracks, although, Christ almighty, nobody does a song with 73 tracks, right? But that's just 73 tracks, each one with an instrument, some effects, and a convolution Space Designer reverb on. And it's just a stress test designed to give you a benchmark for the amount of power that Mac has. And 73 tracks is plenty, man. That's a powerful machine. Even today, it's fine, right? And we're talking 250 to 300 British pounds. Yeah, so, anyway. Right, there you go. There's your complete second Mac-based, totally cheap, total home recording setup. As I said, in the description below is the link to the Catalina install tutorial video that I did, plus the link to all the products in the shop if you want to order all this stuff from Tom Man. And just finally to say, Tom Man, as I said, deliver all over Europe and beyond, but I don't think they deliver to America or the Pacific Basin as far as that. I don't think so. So if you're outside the Tom Man delivery area, but you do want to put this package together and get yourself an old Mac Pro and get it all set up, well, don't worry. You can get this gear from any shop. The main items of gear, that's the headphones, the audio interface and the speakers, you can buy those anywhere in the world. And then to go with those 3 main items, you just need the retailer that you're using to put together a mic bundle for you to go with that. And a mic bundle is the combination of the mic stand, the mic lead, and the pop shield. And any retailer will do you a mic bundle to go with the audio interface, the speakers, and the headphones, right? So just get yourself an equivalent 1-inch large diaphragm mic with the stand and all the other bits, and you're rocking and rolling, right? Alrighty, so there you go. Any questions, any comments, ask below, and I'll see you for the next one.